Hello there. This is Jim the Keys Bartender. Yes, I'm powered. This episode is brought to you by the power of Java. Java, the drink that makes you keep going. I mean, energy drinks have been around for, gosh, how many? I mean, Coca-Cola was originally the first. I mean, the first energy drink was coffee. I mean, they were drinking. Well, actually, chewing on cocoa leaves and stuff like that in the mountains of South America, I understand, and some leaves in other parts of the world and things like that. But coffee is my thing, and if you drink, it's very. I mean, I guess doing too much of one thing could be bad. You could die from drinking too much water, right? You can actually I was going to use the word sanguinate, but I think it's overhydrate, where you're diluting your electrolytes so much that your system goes in some kind of, I don't want to call it septic shock, because septic shock is when you have something in your system that's bad. This is when it dilutes your body chemistry so bad that you die or you drown. I don't know. Yes. I'll admit when I don't know. I know drinking too much coffee, too much water, eating too many chicken McNuggets, drinking too many milkshakes, doing anything extreme, breathing. You can hyperventilate from too much. You can die from too much oxygen. Right? It's amazing the things that'll get you. The good things that you have too much will get you. Right? How much is there anything that you can have too much of that won't hurt you? Right? That's the question. Too much love. If someone is absolutely loved, think of some crazy fan. Someone that loves you so much that they can't stand being without you. Anytime they can't be away from you, and they're obsessed with you, and there's nothing else in their life except you. You are the sun and the moon. You're the center of that universe for that person. That sounds like a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. It doesn't sound like a nightmare to someone that doesn't feel like anybody cares about them, does it? Some people that have a dearth of something or an excess has a different view of that. Right? The person that's drowning in a vat of whiskey doesn't think they're lucky, but someone like me in my old days, when I wanted to drink a bourbon, I would love to think I would drown in a vat of bourbon. Right? It all depends on what you have a lot of. Like the heat. We're in the Keys. Today it seems like it's 95 degrees humidity-wise, feels like. That bullshit thing. Though the temperature doesn't read more than 84 because of the humidity. But if you're in a place that never goes over 60, you might say, oh, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. The people that are up in the, they were in the far northern, the Great White North. They come down here and go, oh, what's it like down here? Oh my God, it's so beautiful. It's like people that live on a mountain and it's snowing all the time. And you're a skier. That's great. When you're next to the ocean and you're a boater and a fisherman, that's fabulous. Not so much if you're not. So take all that with a grain of salt when you hear this stuff. Whether someone has excess or has a, unexplained lack, or explained lack. That's really important. You ever see people that you see a beautiful woman and she's just tired of guys coming up to her and talking to her. Just, God, leave me the fuck alone. I don't want to talk to you. or a popular person. It's like, I just want to be left alone. I guess that's like one of these celebrities and stuff like that. Supposedly Jennifer Lawrence, every time people run up, she just yells at them, get away. Yells, get away. But for the longest time, it's so funny because they've craved stardom. You know they did. They say they didn't. You don't become an actor because you don't crave stardom. If you were that way, then you'd be acting on Broadway and stuff like that, where no one fucking knows you. You could be one of the greatest actors on Broadway. Some of the greatest actors in the world. You wouldn't know who they are. You wouldn't. I think her name's Christine Baranski, kind of breaks that mold. She was on, I don't know what show she was on. All I know is she's a great stage actress. She was in movies like Chicago. She was on, I think she was on this TV show with not Sybil Shepherd, but it could have been Sybil Shepherd or it could have been Candice Bergen or something like that. But she was a friend of someone on that. And she's a great actress. And I would recognize her because I know she's a great actress. But it seemed like she just loves acting. And she understands how to overplay and underplay, because she can overplay an actress playing an actress the best of anyone I know. And she's a unique looking woman. You know, she's a striking looking woman. Striking. When I say striking, I think striking is an accurate description for people. When people are striking, I don't think it automatically means they're a 10 out of 10. It just means they're unique. And it strikes you as unique. I don't mean like the Elephant Man was striking, but it could be the Elephant Man. But where did I go from that? See, this is the part. I was talking in a previous episode, I'm talking about coffee. On my second cup of coffee, we're talking about energy drinks. Energy drinks. Wow. When you come into a bar and you ask for, someone comes in, their ass is dragging, they want a Grey Goose and Red Bull. Or a Tito's and Red Bull. Or a Kettle One and Red Bull. And you think, wow, this person, and you make it double. Double what? You want the Red Bull double or the vodka double? Because either you're going to be you're going to be a drunken asshole, or you're going to be an energetic drunken asshole. I did understand that. I mean, why are you drinking? Why do you need, if you're drinking cow piss, why would you need to have Grey Goose? You pay a premium for one thing, and then you pay for something else. It's interesting, the taste blends. Because much like coffee, and coffee is an acquired taste. I'm going to take another sip. This is part of the experiment. I felt like dog shit yesterday, so today I'm doing 2 shows. To keep it up to 3 shows for this episode 231 of Keith's Bartender. I hope I said that in the beginning. My identifier. I don't have to because this is not the public airways. My premium cup of coffee drank out of my cup from my friend Keith, who's in the hospital right now. And they haven't said enough about this guy. I don't know if he even listens to the podcast. He's just a friend that comes into a bar and he's recovering from a serious injury. I hope he's all right and know that he's missed. So we're back to the energy drink. On its own, an energy drink. I used to drink that myself in order to get energy. I'd get up at 5 in the morning, 5:15 in the morning, jump in the shower. This is when I first moved down to Keys. Get up, jump in the shower. Well, start making a cup of the coffee because I load up. I drink, about 5 ounces and then fill the cup up again. I'm on my travel cup. And then I get myself an energy drink. What the fuck? I mean, you're drinking 20 ounces of coffee. Why do you need any more? Man, I'm lucky. Who knows if it did any damage to me or not? I think it's taurine or something like that they use in it. But all the fucking caffeine, you go in there and work out for like 2 hours. Yeah. And I still had that residual testosterone. So I worked out all the time. I guess it may increase working out. I think if you're in your middle ages and stuff like that, and when you work out, you may increase the levels of your testosterone without having to take a supplement like I do now. I need to take the supplement in order to get me ready to do the workout. I think the workout gave me more of that. But I digress, like I always do. To Red Bull. And then all of a sudden I said, wait a second, that's fucking crazy. And I realized I was getting these mood swings and stuff like that and getting tired. So, and I knew there was a combination of things. I mean, it's always a combination of things, aren't they? We don't live in a vacuum. If I ate like one type of food, I had friends I've known throughout the years that ate pretty much four different foods, like spinach, peanut butter, rice cakes, almond milk. Just picking it off the top of my head. But that's what and oatmeal. That's 5 different types. You know, the spinach and peanut butter for protein and the greens. No, I eat abundance of broccoli, raw broccoli, just to keep everything together. I don't want to be one of those. I mean, I guess eating raw broccoli speaks for itself. No, I don't. Maybe not. Anybody can really eat raw broccoli, but I don't be one of these guys that take those Metamucil or all that stuff you got to do to make you shit. Getting near 60 years old. If you eat your greens and stuff like that, that'll take care of itself, and you don't have to worry about doing all that other crazy stuff. It's not good for you. A nutritionist told me that. Not about saying shit and all that stuff. He said it's better not to take that stuff. It's better to eat the things, and the stuff they have, that fiber that they take, is for people that don't eat vegetables. I mean, if you eat vegetables, it's fine. I mean, even make spaghetti with vegetables. I bought spaghetti yesterday. The 25% of the mass of the spaghetti is from pulverized vegetables. Yeah. Fucking A. I mean, it doesn't taste like regular pasta, but after a while you get used to it. Really, you get used to it. It tastes the same. You get certain tastes, you just get ready. And then when you get used to the taste, sometimes you don't want anything different. I guess that's life. If you don't experience anything new, then you really want to keep everything the same. There's people, I know people come in, they want their burger the same way. They want cheese. They don't want a pickle. They don't want anything. They don't want anything different. Hey, you got different fries. I don't like the seasoned fries. I like plain fries. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's the way they like it. I can understand. I can't tell people how they should enjoy their food or how they should enjoy life. Maybe it brings a certain amount of comfort. People know the expectation that they're going to get the same thing. It's going to taste the same way. It's going to look the same way. When you go out, there's people. I mean, it's maybe there. People. Everyone. Maybe every person is on the spectrum. When I say spectrum, we always talk about how people are weird, and every person is weird their own way. And there's an agreed upon way limits on weirdness, right? There's the outliers. There's the people the crazy, crazy people. The people that live in the woods and don't want to talk to anybody. And that's not, I don't think that's harmful crazy. If they want to do it, they don't have to talk to anyone. I don't think that necessarily makes it crazy. And there's people that want to talk to everyone. That's kind of like me. But then there's the things they do. The things they do. So let's go far out to the thing. The people, let's say you acquired a taste for people. That's crazy. That's accepted as crazy. In certain societies, may not be crazy. Among a group of cannibals from the late 19th century, if someone came into a tribe of cannibals, let's say in New Guinea, right? And I don't know why I picked New Guinea, because it could be any place, but I picked New Guinea. And they said, hey, listen, there's plenty of wildlife around here. And I know it's easier to catch humans because humans get old and they slow and they get injured and they're big and they're easy to, you can get a lot of protein from them. But there's a lot of fruits and nuts and these small game animals. We probably can supplement that. And we'll probably do a lot better by varying our diet. And that time where there weren't a lot of people and we had to start eating some of our members? Well, we don't have to do that anymore. And there's, seafood. Right down the road, there's a stream and there's fish. And I can show you how to catch these fish. And then, this thing that we have every so often, we have these fires. We take the fish, we clean the fish, and then we eat them. It's pretty good. We got these fruits and nuts and stuff. We can mix them in with it. And you have it would add a nice balance to it. Because you know how you get after you eat someone, and you're eating so much human meat, and then you get constipated. Well, if you eat these fruits, nuts, and the fish, you never get constipated and stuff like that, and you seem more energetic at the end of the day. They'll look at you like you're fucking nuts. Say, we always eat people. Are you crazy? You know how hard it is to catch a fish? And then you got to clean it? It's slimy. We know where, because we're the, and it was logical for them to do it. And they never had to like a come, at the end of the night, they go, maybe, the guy turned to his woman and said, maybe we shouldn't be eating people anymore. This other group of people over there, this other tribe, they swear by fish and the fruits and nuts. And they look really healthy. I had heard tell that there's a guy that lives with him that's over 50 years old. And they go, 50 years old? Holy shit, that's an old fuck. Yeah, so you get used to things and stuff like that. But being a cannibal in society that doesn't recognize cannibalism is crazy. It's insane. Jeffrey Dahmer, totally insane. Totally insane. And do they know they're crazy? Do they not? Crazy people don't know they're crazy. So, not knowing that you're weird when you ask for something like, don't put a pickle on my plate. That will ruin it. I don't want a pickle anywhere near it. They find something disgusting on a pickle. Maybe something happened when we were on a pickle before. Maybe someone abused them with a pickle. Who knows? Maybe, someone flips out when they see barbecue potato chips. I have a bad memory about barbecue potato chips. No barbecue potato chips. Or the circus. Clowns. Why are clowns seen that way? Either there's a small group of people that say clowns are the greatest. If I go, when you say for some reason, why clowns still go to children's parties when they're universally used in horror movies almost. In It, God, there's always killer clowns. John Wayne Gacy in real life was a clown. But there's still people being paid to be clowns. I guess that's for like the 1 and 2 and 3 year olds. The visualness, you have the red nose, the white thing. That's, kids, very little kids, they don't get the nuances of Jerry Seinfeld or Drew Carey or what's the new one? John, the Irish one, John, I'm drawing a blank. Whatever, just think of comedians. They don't get the nuances, so they need to have that sight thing. They need to have the horn. They need the balloon animals and all that stuff. Balloon animals, though, that's more abstract, though. That's when you get up, 8, 9 years old. The 2 and 3 year olds, and what happens is the balloon animals extends the range of the attraction of the clown. Because 2 to 3 years old, they may see the kid with the white clown with the white face walking around with the big shoes. They think it's funny. And then after 5 and 6 years old, they go, well, that's not funny anymore. That guy has very big feet and a very, very outrageously colored nose. But he makes wonderful animals out of long balloons, and they can make it into a hat. And that's fucking awesome. You know? You ever try to blow up one of those fucking balloons? Sometimes you feel like you're asthmatic when you're doing it. But no, I can do it now. It's just practice blowing up one of those. You know, you get them, it's like you're fucking... I mean, I was a 3-pack-a-day smoker. And blowing up a balloon was... Fucking might as well just say, hey, take this iron bar and tie it in a knot. Or blow up this balloon. Give me a shot at the iron bar. You know? I'm not... Because the fucking balloon isn't going to happen. So, once again, I digress. Where does this thing come with people? Like, they just have these things. Everyone has their one thing. The one thing they can't. I mean, for the longest time, I was freaked out by bugs. And now I'm not freaked out by bugs. Rats used to bother me a little. Snakes. Not so much lizards. You see them all the time down here. Some people phobias don't have to last sometimes for some people. Phobias last forever, depending on how you were exposed to it, I guess. But when they come in, you'll see them. You'll see those people. And I started out some way, and I don't even remember how I started this thing. Because there's some people, they don't even let you know they're crazy. They don't let you until you get close enough to them. They're not apparently. They're on the front, they're facile and easy to know. They talk about lighthearted subjects. They don't get in depth about the things that they feel strongly about. And I mean it when they feel strongly about. You'd be surprised. Very, very, you think the nicest person in the world and stuff like that. But don't get them started on fucking Albanians. What the fuck happened with Rick and the Albanians? I just pulled that name. I don't know a Rick who has a problem with Albanians. Or I don't have a problem with Albanians. I think they're very nice people. But I just picked that one time because it's kind of obscure. And people say, Jim, what is an Albanian? Well, Albanian's on the Adriatic. It's near Italy. It was a former communist country. It was a very unique communist country. Because they were in the heart of Europe. And post-World War II, they worried, along with the rest of the countries in Eastern Europe, they worried about them coming under the influence of the Soviet Union. And the same thing with Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia was an artificially created country after World War I, where they took Croatia, Serbia, Slovenia. There's Macedonia. I'm missing a couple. I know that, and I apologize for all these former Yugoslavians and Bosnia. So there were. That I digress on that. But Albania always existed. There was a Balkan country, kind of isolated. And what happened with Albania is they did not get along right away with the Soviets. They wanted to not toe the line. So they tied themselves closer to China. And China is all the way over in the east. Right? I mean, Albania said they were communists and they had their own dictator and stuff like that. So they were kind of... Even though Eastern Europe was kind of depressed when you see Eastern Europe during the Warsaw Pact years when they were part of the there were Soviet influence, you always think of them backwards and stuff like that. Well, think of that and think of the difference between Western Europe and Eastern Europe, and think of it as if there was another class between Eastern Europe downward, that was Albania. Very, very, very backward country. I think if you're older, you saw a show called Taxi, and Latka, the guy who Andy Kaufman played, was from a mythical country that was sort of like Albania. And Albania is back now. The nice thing about these poor countries and stuff like that, because of where they're situated in Europe and stuff like that, they were right for investment because the cost of living was so low. So if you're in a former former Soviet satellite country and you needed to go someplace to get some bargains, your place wasn't bargain filled enough, you went to Albania. Now Albania is, and I just mentioned that I went off for the 5-6 minutes, I'm sorry, on Albania, just to give you a little filler on that. So people always have their things. I have a friend that only wants to he only wanted to date redheads, even though he's Italian American, right? And a little German maybe, but mainly Italian American. Why? Something about redheads for him, just that thing. And you see people coming in. There's one guy that comes in every time he orders his takeout and stuff like that. Even though he knows I know dick about football. I mean, I know something about football. I mean, just by being around, listening to Sports Center and stuff like that, you're going to get shit about football. I do not spend extra time my day turning on ESPN. I'm home. I don't do it because it's on at work. I know who Baker Mayfield is. I know Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be, as of yesterday, he does not want to be part of the Packers. I know that. But you ask me anything else, I don't know. I don't know the in-depth knowledge. I don't pretend the in-depth knowledge. But this guy comes up to me and always talks about the Dolphins. I told him I'm originally from Philadelphia, so I know a lot more about Philadelphia than I do about Miami. And I don't know a lot about the Philadelphia Eagles, so there. But he'll still come up and talk to me about that. And that's kind of like Asperger's syndrome. That's where you think whatever you're interested in, you think everyone else is interested in. And I guess that's kind of like my podcast. I think that you're interested in what I'm interested in. Maybe you're not interested in that thing. But I don't put it out like that. That's the reason why there may be only like 50 downloads to the show. Hey, this guy talks about John Wayne Gacy and about Jeffrey Dahmer. Hey, let's make a reference to that movie that came out 2 years ago. I think it was My Friend Dahmer. It was a story about how Dahmer, they were friends with him, and he was kind of pseudo-normal at one time. But when he wasn't drilling holes in the, homeless teens' heads and pouring hot liquid in it, trying to make them into zombies and eating parts of their body. Supposedly, he was a normal guy. That's the. I guess that's the scariest part. Whenever you see that in those psycho movies, right, where the person you're driving down and people seem really normal and stuff like that. You have the grandparents. I think there was one last year about the grandparents. Grandmom was the name of the movie. Maybe it wasn't that great a movie, but it's just like they went a little crazy and just started doing weird things like trying to put the kids in the oven and stuff like that. But when someone can pretend to be normal and then they're lunatics. That's probably the most terrifying thing. I don't know. What would scare you? But I see that the closer you get to someone, that's why relationships maybe fail so often. Because people can't get their heads wrapped around the idea that the person they thought they cared about wasn't the person they thought they were. Would you stay with someone after that you knew everything about them? You don't really know everything about that person. You don't. You don't know all the inner workings of someone. And sometimes you may say, wow, you never get close to somebody because you don't like the way they are. You say, well, I don't like their views on other people. I don't like their views. They're kind of negative and all that stuff. They may have that. The person you're involved with may have that same thing in them, but they never let it out. It's kind of like farting, right? You don't do that in front of your partner when you first started dating, right? I mean, it's a comic trope, that after a while, when you feel comfortable, you start doing things. I mean, there's some guys that are always scratching, touching themselves, touching their balls and all that stuff, and they do it in front of people, and maybe they get with girls that don't mind them touching their balls. But then they realize, hey, if I don't touch my balls and don't fart and don't pick my nose, that I might be able to meet more people. And then they wait a year or two and they start touching their balls, farting, picking their nose, and doing all sorts of disgusting things. Sometimes it's best not to have those habits at all. It's just a suggestion. It's not really a thing that makes you, well, that's me. That's what I do. Well, yeah, I mean, you gotta fart. It's just part of the thing. But you can wait to go to the bathroom. You could drink a little vinegar every so often. Vinegar supposedly helps. The stuff with, what they call it, the mother, I think it's called. I know it's weird. It's apple cider vinegar. And they use the determiner in front of it. Mother. The mother. I don't fucking get it either. But supposedly it's really good for you and stuff like that. And there's other things that help you do that. But you get that. I realize I get that when I eat a lot of raw vegetables. And I don't want to be doing that all the time. Some people think it's their thing. That's my talent. Well, that really... I guess I was going to say that sucks if that's your talent. So I guess it doesn't suck because you're actually... That blows because you're expelling gas. It doesn't have to be your thing. There's other things that you're good at. I'm sure of it. And if that's the one thing you're good at, my condolences. Well, you're listening here. There must be something. I don't mean it makes you redeemable, but you have some sort of discipline to be able to sit down and listen to this bullshit for a while. And I appreciate it. And since we're at this, I'm going to say thank you for listening. And if you are in Key Largo at mile marker 102, you'll find a restaurant called The Catch Restaurant. I was going to say the Keys Notary. That's my side business. That's what I spent a couple hours this week doing. But the Catch Restaurant, open for lunch and dinner, mile marker 102, Oceanside, with seafood and non-seafood dishes. Nice selection. Open every day of the week for lunch and dinner. Happy hour from Monday to Friday, 3:30 to 6:30. Come on in. If you catch your own catch, bring it in. And they'll cook it up assortment of ways you want. And Saturday night, we normally have live entertainment. And if you do come in and you don't see me, or you do see me, make sure you tell somebody. Tell someone other than me that the Keys bartender sent you. I do appreciate. I know the more I do this, the more I get, because I've got several people come in and say, "Hey, listen, I listened to your podcast. I came in here. You're taller than I thought, or you're shorter than I thought. Normally they don't say I'm older than I thought, because when I talk about how old I am, they say, "Oh, I'm surprised you're not ancient," because the way you describe yourself, you act like as if you're an old man. And it's comparative. And I hope they say, well, I thought maybe because you seemed somewhat hip that you might be one of those older men that don't seem old, but you look old. I don't know. But listen, if you like the show, please share it with your friends. The Keys Bartender is on social media. Yes, I'm in the 21st century. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow us there. Share it with your friends. Tell them you like the show. Tell them it changed your life. Tell them you stopped contemplating eating people. Or you're not going to do that experiment where you sew people from ass to anus, mouth to anus and recreate the centipede. You're not going to do that. You say, I thought I was crazy, but then I realized I wasn't crazy. Well, thank you for listening. This is Jim, the Keys Bartender. I'll get back to you next week. Bye. Oh, I was turning down the music and I didn't even turn it on yet.